Then the last pillar is integration. One thing is to have all these separate tools, which I think by themselves already generate a lot of value. But what our customers really want is having those tools talk to each other. And again, when Tim talks about content integration later today, I think that is an absolute necessity for us. It's one of the most difficult things to do. But if we can integrate our products together and then in the next step start integrating our products with proprietary content from our customers, that is what the biggest need is that we hear out there. Now, a couple of examples. One, yes, we are saying that we want to focus on corporate customers. What does that mean? For me, it's around the application of science. How do you take the body of science and how do you distill the knowledge out of that that helps corporate customers get better outcomes and make better decisions? That for us is the holy grail. If we can provide you with a product that helps you to de-risk a decision. The Geofacet solution that we just launched helps oil and gas geologists to make a better decision, should I drill for oil and gas here or not? That is a $10 million decision. Can be a $10 million decision. If this tool can give you just that additional couple of percentage around making that decision, that tool already is worth the value for that geologist. The second thing is around insights. Again, how do we take that information, put it into the workflow of a pharma researcher, an oil and gas researcher, an alternative energy researcher, a chemical researcher, and give them the insights that they need for their day-to-day work? How can we think and look with their eyes into that content? Enhancing existing content. This is one of my favorite examples of this move from a publisher to an information solutions provider. Elsevier has traditionally been the world's biggest publisher in brain atlases. Rat brains, mouse brains, monkey brains, human brains. And these brain atlases, they're brilliant books. They're very thick. And what it basically is, you take a monkey brain or a rat brain, and you make slices every time of 1 millimeter. You make a picture, and that goes into the book. Now, these books are ideal to be put online. But if we would have done this in the traditional approach, we would have taken the book, scanned it, put it online, and said, fantastic, we now have the rat brain online. That was not meeting our customer needs. What our customer wanted was a 3D-dimensional rendering of that book. It was adding very sophisticated technology into those brains, both of our users, I guess, and of the books. But it's creating now a 3-dimensional tool, which we call Brain Navigator, which allows you to take a brain of the rat, a monkey, human, and a mouse, and to turn it into any direction you want, to make a slice in any direction you want. The newest release that came out a couple of weeks ago even allows you to do injections into the brain. And again, it gives two benefits. From a pure user benefit, it saves you a ton of time. You can search exactly what you want. It will link directly back into the primary literature. But also from an outcome perspective, how silly it sounds, from an economical perspective, a factor X less mice are needed to do experiments once you use the Brain Navigator, because you're able to do in a much more targeted way, look at the problems before you actually start doing experiments on live animals, which should be dead by the time you do the experiment. But this, again, is a great example of how you take print content into the electronic age, not just by scanning it, but by making it 3-dimensional, understanding how the users are interacting with this content, and then adding the functionalities. Another example, Geofacets, which was launched 2 months ago. It's a tool specifically for oil and gas geologists and upstream that are exploring oil and gas fields. Now, how did this come to life? This was done by interviews with hundreds of oil and gas geologists in big oil and gas companies. It was Elsevier for the first time actually bringing in domain experts as part of our team, getting geologists themselves onto our product and content teams, which is a completely new approach for Elsevier. I mean, we have publishers, but we don't have domain experts that can go out there and talk with geologists in the field, understanding what do you do on a daily basis? What are your pain points? What are you looking for? Understanding that scientific research is an integral part of upstream exploration, and understanding that there is too much information out there and that these researchers are spending a huge amount of time of finding the right maps and then integrating them into their workflow. So we created this tool that automatically extracts about 80,000 geological maps from our journals. It georeferences them, which means that you can search them by longitude and latitude. It links those maps to the oil and gas basins that we know exist in the world. And it then allows you to search on either geological coordinates, type of basins, through the map, will link you directly to the primary literature, will give you comparable basins, comparable maps. And again, the key thing it does is it reduces the workflow from 5 steps to 2 steps. A very demonstrable output that we can show to potential customers. It saves you hours of work in how you use the maps, how you interact with the information, and again, it allows you to make better decisions. Now, if I then start looking at the integration perspective, we have a lot of content. And again, if you look specifically at the pharma R&D chain, which goes from drug discovery and then all the way up to launch and post-launch, we have content, primary literature, that spans that entire value chain. We have specific products that span that entire value chain. But how we serve it up today, it is not an integrated part where you can jump from product to product. You can jump from one piece in the literature and follow it through the value chain. If we listen to our customers, that is what they really want. So give an example for a specific pharma researcher. You start with Embase. You do a very particular biomedical search into Embase. You find an author. Ideally, you would want to click directly from Embase to Scopus to learn more about the author. Then from Scopus, you find an interesting article. You would want to click directly through to Science Direct. You find a specific compound in that article. You want to click through to Reaxys. A seamless experience which starts with a search and ends at a compound. We are only starting with that today. I think we are starting to integrate Reaxys with Science Direct, Reaxys with Scopus, but our vision very much is that all our products should be talking with each other in line with customer needs. The next step is, how do you make those products, now they're talking to each other, also interact with customer proprietary data? Our large pharma customers have some of the largest sets of information out there, and they would love those products to start linking our content with their content and then using the search and taxonomies and ontologies over all of the content. And I think Tim will be addressing much more in detail what we are actually trying to make that work. Cyverse, I think, is another part of our answer in how this integration should look like. If you look at our products today, again, you have Science Direct, Scopus sitting next to each other. If you want to do a search in Science Direct and Scopus, you're talking about 2 different searches. That is not what people want. You want to do one search, you want to get all the relevant information, and then you want to be able to sort yourself. Do I want full text? Do I want ANI? Do I want third-party content? So the thing that we've been working on for the last 2 years, and hopefully Raphael will be here later because I think it's his vision that underpins this, is what we call Cyverse. And it means integrating all those different platforms into one search. If you go now to cyverse.com, you see a box called Hub. You go to Hub, it's a Google-like page. You do your search, and you will automatically search through full text, through ANI, through the web, and you get a deduplicated and on relevant sorted result served back to you. That's one step. The other thing that we've added onto that Cyverse platform is an application layer, where again we're saying we can create all those solutions, but as Elsevier we are never going to able to meet every single customer need. Why don't we allow customers to develop their own solutions on top of our platform? And why don't we give customers access to our pretty deep APIs and build the own application that allows you to interact with our content exactly in the way that you want to do. Now that application marketplace just went beta. We're still testing it. We're looking to roll it out in the course of next year, but definitely also something where we believe there's huge value for corporate customers. Now again, looking back, what I said before, for me the fascinating thing in this whole world of information is that what we are doing hasn't changed in the last 100 years. If you look at Galileo, it was about identifying high quality content, and it wasn't working. How do we distribute it to the people that want that information across the world? If I look at Brain Navigator or GeoFacets or the new biofuel solution that we're trying to launch, they do exactly the same thing. We're still all about the highest quality content, but much more than before, we are about understanding the very specific needs of our customers, the business needs that they're trying to meet, and make our information directly interact with that business need. And again, that's for me also where the ROI study is absolutely key. So that was a very quick overview of how we are changing with our customers, how we are slowly becoming a much more technology-driven company, but in that also, I believe, able to much better address the true needs of our customers. Thank you very much.